Hi, today I'm going to tell you a fairy tale about animals who like to play football. The coolest animal in the whole jungle is Cristiano the Lion. He has a shiny mane, which he often combs by the lake, beautiful white teeth, and a muscular body. Every animal envies him. Every time the sun sets behind the horizon, he climbs the highest hill and roars loudly throughout the jungle. This is how he makes it clear to everyone who is king here. The other animals in the jungle respect and admire him. Only occasionally does someone think that Cristiano is showing off a little. But no one would say that to his face. There is one more thing that makes Cristiano the Lion the best of all: football. Yes, even here in the jungle, animals love football. Instead of the ball we know, they play with coconuts. And because there are so many of them here, they play every day. After their afternoon nap, lions, tigers, rhinos, elephants, hippos, monkeys, cheetahs, and other animals gather on a small field next to the lake for a match. Small or slow animals can't play. Lions and tigers have forbidden them to do so. So mice, turtles, snakes, and parrots are simply out of luck. They are just fans. After each game, when everyone is slowly going home, Cristiano the Lion shakes a few extra coconuts from the palm tree and goes to practice penalty kicks by himself. Look, little one, an older black panther winks at his son. He's the best because he works the hardest. That's how it is in football and in life. Little panther Vini just nods his head to show that he too will train hard. One day, a group of macaques, cocky and loud monkeys, decided that they simply didn't like the water from their white lake anymore, and that they would go to the neighboring blue lake to drink from other animals. They were sure that the water there would be much tastier. You should know that this is not allowed here in the jungle. Every large group of animals has its own lake from which it drinks. That's the rule. But these cheeky monkeys didn't care about the rules, so they set off at night for the neighboring lake. No one will see us in the dark, they thought. Well, the monkeys were very cheeky, but not very smart. You may know that some snakes can sense the heat of other animals and determine exactly where they are, even in complete darkness. It's called thermal imaging, but the macaques had no idea. They were calmly drinking water from a forbidden blue lake when a fearless snake with sharp teeth crawled up to them and bit one of the monkeys right on the butt. Oh. She squealed and jumped a meter into the air. The other macaques were startled, jumped into the trees, and scurried back home the next day. They told everyone how much better the water in Blue Lake was and how much they wanted the lake for themselves. And because macaques can be persistent, they convinced a few other animals to take over Blue Lake and move in. Lion Cristiano refused. He didn't go with them. He knew that rules were meant to be followed. Instead, he tried out tricks with coconuts, practiced jumping, did push-ups and pull-ups on branches. He enjoyed the day in his own way. He also went on a boat ride with his lioness and put his 5 lion cubs to sleep in the evening. The monkeys, on the other hand, set out with a few other animals on a combat expedition to Blue Lake, but a group of locals was already waiting for them there. At the head was a tall, thin, bald orangutan. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "We've come for your lake. We're going to live here now," said the most dear to the macaques. The orangutan shook his head and scratched his bald spot. "That's not possible. You can't steal our lake. You have yours and we have ours," he explained calmly. The macaques consulted for a moment. Then the big-eared one suggested, "Let's play a soccer match for your lake, shall we? The winner stays here. The loser has to leave." The bald orangutan, whom his tribe called Pep, thought for a moment. "Deal, but if we win, you can never come back." Everyone in the orangutan's party was surprised. Hey, Pep's friend the elephant shouted at him, "I have a good memory, and I know that Cristiano the Lion plays for them, and he's the best soccer player of all the animals. We don't stand a chance of beating them." "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing," replied Pep, and he arranged the match for the following afternoon. The macaques returned home happy, knowing that with Cristiano playing, they were sure to win. The muscular lion didn't want to get too involved in the theft of the lake, but there was one thing he liked even more than soccer: showing others that he was king of the pitch. And when else would he be able to show off his skills to the fullest than in such a big match, the Blue Lake match? So the next day, everyone gathered on the pitch. Cristiano's team included lions, cheetahs, tigers, rhinos, and an elephant. It was all the more sensational when Pep the orangutan, who coached the Blue Lake team, put the gazelles, a wild boar, and even a mouse in the starting lineup alongside the lions, tigers, and elephant. The referee for the match was Ver the giraffe. He had a long neck, so he could see everything that was happening on the field up close. The match began, and Cristiano immediately got the ball, showed off a few step-overs, and sent it straight into the top corner from 30 meters. Only he could do it like that. The elephant in the blue lake goal didn't even have time to lift his trunk. Such was the power of the shot. Together with Cristiano, the other animals cheering for the whites also shouted, "Never mind, now we'll do what we agreed." Coach Pep shouted to his players. The animals from Blue Lake began passing the coconut frantically, along the ground, over short distances. The tiger to the gazelle to the wild boar, back to the tiger, and so on and so forth. It was a joy to behold. Meanwhile, the orangutan stood by the field and directed his team, who listened to his every word. He was the best coach far and wide. Cristiano the Lion was furious because he hadn't touched a coconut in a long time, which he didn't like. On top of that, the little mouse from Blue Lake kept getting in his way. Nimble, annoying, irritating, he had to be careful not to step on it. That would mean a red card. You have to admit, this was a great plan by Pep. When Cristiano was red with rage and yelling at his teammates to try harder, the gazelle from the blue team dribbled past him and sprinted down the sideline. Humiliation. Cristiano couldn't take it anymore. He ran after the gazelle and tried to grab it. The whistle blew, red card for Cristiano the Lion. This is not allowed, and for the giraffe saw the rough foul very clearly. Cristiano left the field, his eyes full of anger. He headed straight for his cave. It must be admitted that even though he was angry and spitting round, his mane was still perfectly fluffy. No one knew how he did it. Only his ego was deflated. Without their star player, the White Lake team didn't stand a chance. In the end, they lost 1-4. The Blue Lake team celebrated cheerfully and threw the orangutan Pep into the air. After all, it was the one who came up with this brilliant plan. The Blues were able to stay on their territory. They could stay at home. Pep also proved that it doesn't matter if you have the best player on your team. Teamwork always wins in the end. The team is the most important thing. And what happened to Cristiano the Lion? In the end, he moved away from the jungle with his entire lion family to the desert, where rich camels organized their own football matches in the oases between the dunes. Only he knows if it was worth it. And thus ends our football fairy tale.